Against the background of the approaching denouement in the current conflict in Eastern Europe, the risks of a direct clash between NATO and Russia are growing rapidly. The successes of the Russian army on the battlefield are very annoying and at the same time frighten NATO. And Western generals are doing everything in order not to lose face against the backdrop of Moscow's approaching victory. Understanding all the risks and insane aspirations of many Western generals and politicians, Vladimir Putin decided to cool some hotheads in Washington and the European Union. Putin's statement that Russian Mig-31 interceptor fighters, armed with hypersonic Kinzhal missiles, began patrolling the Black Sea, caused a wave of indignation and discontent in the West. In fact, by these actions, Moscow made it clear that NATO should stay away from the Black Sea. The fact is that Putin understands perfectly well that Russia's victory in the current conflict will be perceived by the NATO leadership as a real humiliation of the entire Western military system and unity. Putin is well aware that the closer Russia's victory in the current conflict is, the greater the risks of the outbreak of World War III, as hotheads in the West will do everything to provoke Moscow to even tougher actions. According to the Kremlin, the presence of such formidable weapons in the Black Sea permanently is an ideal means of deterring militant hawks from the North Atlantic Alliance. Meanwhile, Indian military expert Vijayendra Thakur said that such harsh actions by Moscow in the Black Sea are primarily aimed at deterring the British Royal Navy. According to him, it is Britain that is the main provocateur in the Black Sea. Moreover, it was London that constantly threatened to introduce its fleet into the Black Sea in violation of the Montreux Convention and the rules of international navigation. According to the expert, the news that Russia has begun patrolling the Black Sea with its deadly hypersonic Kinzhal missiles has brought many hotheads in London to their senses. Referring to his own sources in the British military department, the Indian expert confirmed the alarm and concern among high-ranking British officers, which arose due to Moscow's decision. The fact is that the fighting in Ukraine has proved the effectiveness of the latest Russian hypersonic missiles. Even the most modern Western air defense systems could not shoot down at least one Kinzhal missile. Moreover, these Russian hypersonic missiles were also able to destroy well-fortified enemy bunkers, located at a fairly deep depth. At the same time, it is worth noting that according to unconfirmed data, the hypersonic Kinzhal missile also caused the death of many high-ranking NATO officers in Ukraine. The combat capabilities of this Russian hypersonic missile are really impressive and amazing. Kinzhal is capable of destroying any US warship, including aircraft carriers. Military experts still cannot understand how Russian engineers managed to create such a formidable weapon that is decades ahead of Western developments. The fact is that the main problem of hypersonic missiles is the radar homing system. When the rocket reaches hypersonic speed, a plasma sheath forms around it, which disables all electronics, including the homing system. However, judging by the impressive performance of the hypersonic missile Kinzhal, Russian engineers have become the first in the world who managed to solve this problem. Moreover, the fact that this hypersonic missile can be launched not only from the Mig-31, but also from the Su-34 and Tu-22M3M, makes this weapon absolutely invulnerable to existing NATO defense systems. Thus, it becomes clear that the West will not be able to get out of this conflict without losing its face. And it is this fact that scares many analysts and experts, since some revanchists in the West, in a fit of desperation, can provoke a real global war.